come up here. Now, Sika and Name actually are the bottom lane of Positive Energy, the team that just beat OMG in the LPL finals a week ago. So they have who is regarded as the premier AD carry in China, a region known for Wei Zhao, for Uzi. Name actually won the LPL MVP for the most valuable player over the LPL summer there. A fantastic AD carry in his own right, and his support Sika here. So you have to say it's almost a stacked OMG lineup. Seems like China really wants to take down League of Legends here. I imagine San and Koma couldn't be available, but here we see an OMG team that anyone in the world would fear.
Well, I guess they're going to be fearing that Sona from EPHK. That's, I believe, my first Sona ban that I've had here. League of Legends Plus stream. But to follow that up, we have Lee Sin, and that's something a bit more common. I've been seeing a lot of Lee Sin bans here in this 3.13 patch.
It's not too surprising. I mean, Lee Sin, along with Elise, puts out the most jungle pressure of any junglers out there, and they're just trying to curb Loveland here. Whenever we see Loveland pick up that Lee Sin, he doesn't really disseminate which side of the jungle is his. It's all his jungle. He's all over the map, causing so much jungle pressure, so causing some of the aggressive turret dives that we saw at the World Finals. So banning away Lee Sin, although it might strike you as an odd ban, is a really powerful choice against OMG.
No, not odd at all. It has been fairly common. This is actually our second Riven ban, I do believe, up against China. Yeah, when they took on Team Argentina yesterday, Usurus Gaming, it was Lee Sin, Riven, Rumble. Those were the three that Argentina decided to ban against him. And as you can see, Lee Sin, Riven, I doubt we're going to see a Rumble ban, but you know, EPHK, they got to figure out, and it's going to be a Kassadin. That is somebody we've been seeing a lot of here on this stream as well.
It's interesting to see the Kassadin ban come out there. I mean, cool. He's actually known more for playing against Kassadin than actually playing that Kassadin. The Riven ban I like just because when we saw OMG pick up Lee Sin and Riven, the last time I saw them on stream, they dominated the mid lane. They did really, really super well there. It looks like the Elise pickup's going to be the one here. I mean, in terms of jungle pressure, Elise of the jungle pool being left up is definitely the person to apply the most pressure. Why not give it to Loveland?
Yeah, why not? Elise, obviously a great jungler out there. Last game in our last game series, when you're doing the other quarterfinals, we had CJ Antis Blaze here on stream. They had double Xin Zhao. It was game number 1 Xin Zhao into game number 2, and Daydreamin just did some really amazing stuff with him. Made a lot of the kills happen. So, you know, if you can't go for an Elise, you can't go for Lee Sin. Jin has been making something of a comeback.
And funnily enough, that's something that makes me smile, just because the first Xin Zhao of the tournament we saw was actually Team Immunity from Australia picking that Xin Zhao against Blaze in the last game of yesterday. It feels like Daydream watched that, saw what started off as a 6-1 Xin Zhao and thought, hey, let's bring back Xin Zhao.
I'll actually one-up you. It's I saw Brazil before that game actually pick it up before that Immunity. So I'm going to one-up you there as well. But a lot of Xin Zhao here at the tournament. 3.13 patch, not the preseason, ladies and gentlemen.
And one of the hidden kind of reasons why you might see a Xin Zhao, just because we've had some technical issues here. Players have reported ping issues. No skill shots on Xin Zhao.
Nope, just point-click A-move.
But still a lot of jungle pressure coming out from that champion. He scales well with the tanky CDR items that are common pickups on junglers. Xin Zhao definitely a respectable pick.
Well, Xin Zhao so far not going to be picked up here. As we said, we got an Elise there for Team China, but Lucian and Thresh, and you know, not really that unheard of a combo these days.
It's interesting to see EPHK picking up the Lucian Thresh before the Shen. When I saw EPHK play yesterday against Immunity, they first picked Shen there just because Domox is a noted Shen player, noted tank player.
And speak of the devil.
He's able to get it later in the draft. Shyvana versus Shen, it strikes me as a risky lane matchup for Shen just because no AoE wave clear against someone who has so much resourceless AoE wave clear like Shyvana.
So I'm looking at our past notes here as well. I mean, Energy Pacemaker, we did, I believe, 2 games of them here on the LoL Plus channel yesterday. Shen and Shen for Dom Hawks, Thresh and Thresh for Lao Pai. So, is it Lao Pai or Lao P?
We say Lao P. But
all right, I'll go with Lao P. So Lao P, Thresh, going to be basically going for the hat trick here on the LoL Plus stream. But Lucian is also a repeat pick there for Kane as well.
I mean, at the end of the day here, having casted the LPL, have some familiarity with casting EPHK there. Domox definitely a tank player. You know, he loves that Shen. They pick it for Shen. They know how to play with a Shen, which is always something that develops as a series goes through here. And Lao P, he's kind of been their MVP so far this tournament. He's kind of guided them into the semi-final stages because he's been able to apply so much pressure in 2v2 lanes. EPHK have been winning 2v2 lanes very handedly there, and that's partly because of the power of the playmaking Lao P.
Yeah, Lao P has been something of a tremendous force in some of these games. But I'm also going to point out, You were here a few times, and we talked throughout the tournament how I've had a 100% win rate for Shyvanas. Unfortunately, that was broken last game. I know, I kind of gasped as well, but we see Loveland taking Shyvana for Team OMG here. That's probably going to go back up to going, because last time I saw OMG here on the Plus stream, it was a Shyvana.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, Shyvana on the main stage also, we saw 2 more Shyvana wins there. She's just such a strong champion here. She has so many tools to deal with the tanky bruises that are in vogue now, like Renekton and Shen. Why not Shyvana almost becomes the question that you asked there. And it's interesting to see OMG have settled on Cool on the Zed pick here. I mean, bringing back that assassin who has seen some nerfs in the previous patches here. Zed versus Diana is actually a matchup that's a bit of a skill matchup there, just because Diana deceptively tanky with her shield there. So it'll be interesting to see whether Cool can blitz.
She can definitely provide a lot of burst, but something to also note is that on the 3.13 patch, we had Zed actually nerfed just a little bit in terms of that less reliable escapability, that less reliable burst, but hasn't actually stopped a lot of these teams from playing him. We've seen wins and losses with him, but again, I'm going to go back to my notes. China, OMG, second appearance here on the stream, and we got 4 repeat picks. It's basically the only thing different between last time I saw these guys and now is that we have an Elise instead of a Nunu.
Why break it if it's working?
Well, 4 straight wins in their group stage clearly is not broken. But we're going to be getting into that game momentarily here, ladies and gentlemen. Game number 1 of OMG versus EPHK from Hong Kong. And again, like really, really great teams, but it is a little odds are stacked against EPHK because of that previous experience these teams have with each other back at the LPL.
And at the end of the day, it's one of the tournament favorites against a largely unheralded Hong Kong team here who's put in a great performance but now finds themselves against one of the favorites. It's going to be an interesting one. If they can take game 1 here, they could blow the series wide open.
They very well could. Now, I was also talking to Monty, who was just here for the last game series, and his actual pick is OMG to win the entire tournament.
And I think I agree with that just because this is OMG, a team that dominated the Chinese league scene, one of the 2 strongest scenes in the world, made such a splash at Worlds, and now they've even retuned. They've got temporary substitutes, the positive energy bottom lane that's been so heralded, it's been so highly praised in terms of China. Whenever anyone talks about an 80 carry in the same breath as Uzi, who caused such a splash at World Championship, and people say that Name is better, which I don't know about you, but that makes me slightly scared.
Well, we're going to have to see if they can prove their mettle here in WCG 2013 Grand Finals. Kunshan China has been a terrific place to us. A lot of big talents here, a lot of the top talent from in terms of the teams. And I actually just was caught a bit off guard. There's a girl in the crowd in front of us with an OMG sign in like light bright.
The OMG fans are here. I mean, OMG, a team, if you started off the LPL, you were probably a World Elite or Invictus Game fan. Those are the teams that have been around the scene for so long. They've been so powerful. OMG, they've come through this year with much aplomb, and right as we finish off the Season 3 patch, we get to see whether they can perfect it and win this tournament here today.
Well, OMG going to be going up against EPHK. Blue there for China, red for Hong Kong. Going into game number 1 here, guys. Forecourt Jester with the Papa Smithy. Our second cast, actually, this of all time, believe it or not, but both of them here in Kunshan. Now, level 1, we did see a little bit more aggression in our last quarterfinal series, but overall it's been pretty tame for me here on this stream.
And obviously level 1, something that's been targeted by Riot for changes in 3.14. They're looking to decrease that early snowball, but you can see some pretty seismic shifts at level 1 come out. We're looking down here, no real aggressive wards have been put out by either team so far. I guess they're not looking to keep tabs on the junglers, which surprises me when we've got 2 really strong early skirmishing, early ganking junglers like Jarvan and Elise.
Yeah, that is slightly atypical when you come to a bit more towards the Asian scene. But we also got Lucian there in the mid. So, I mean, already the hand has kind of been tipped that we're having that lane swap. But OMG seems to be cool with it, literally, because they're leaving Cool right there. And it's going to be
what you did there.
I thought you might. But it will be a 2v1, I suspect. Or maybe it's going to be a bit more of a roam, and Kane is just kind of putting on a show.
Well, they seem to be having a bit of fun. Obviously, these guys, long rivals, having played against each other in the LPL summer here, having fun in the mid lane. But you're right, it looks like 2v1 action, which actually opens up Thresh to do some aggressive invading potentially.
Yeah, so I think they were just having a dance party, to be honest. Because you see Lucian now rotating back. We got Supercat there in the mid. Supercat, last time we saw EPHK on stream, also did play Diana. He so far has shown me both Diana as well as Ahri. But Our jungle, this is the first time I'm going to get to see Boo Ping on Jarvan. And again, like level 1's not really seeming to be the thing here on the LoL Plus stream, but it will be jungle as normal.
I'd be interested to see how Boo Ping handles the Jarvan nerfs that hit him in this patch. The EQ, the flag and drag combo, the radius when it comes to the EQ is actually quite small now, and you kind of have to have quite a lot of competitive practice on that patch to be able to master it here. So don't be surprised to see some of the ganks not coming off exactly as expected, or maybe he's been really cracking at home and able to overcome those nerfs.
Well, we have seen quite a few Jarvans, and some of them, you know, they still have that sniper accuracy. Some of them actually don't. Kayn, however, is going to get accurately hit by fire. He can ignite going down as well from Annie. That aggressive support coming out from Sika. But Laopi seems to be okay for now. Kayn looking a little shaky. Needs to start really focusing on those last hits. But other than that Doran's Blade, I mean, he has nothing in terms of sustain. The only good news here is that Elise can't really come down to visit.
Of all the champions who start Doran Blade, which of course is all the AD carries, probably the best synergy of any AD carry is Lucian, just because with that passive, it actually applies on hit effects. So every auto attack, or every ability into auto attack basically gets you 15 healing instantly. So you're really using and abusing that lane passive there, and it can be very useful.
We got Thundersticks there in the crowd. Those are OMG Thundersticks. And
speaking of Thunder, we see Kayn takes so much damage here. Lucian able to escape by EPHK already on the back foot.
And unfortunately, no Thunder brought into that one. But Loveland's now going to go check out the jungle. Probably going to get the timing there from the blue. And it's been, you know, pretty lackluster kind of this early game. I mean, we had a little bit of excitement there with Kayn. Loveland just out and about looking around the jungle. He's going to find the wolves, but also going to find the standard from Boo Ping. And both of them do have that red and blue. In terms of the dual ability, we do have the Doran's Blade on Loveland, so should theoretically come out a little bit more on top if it comes to the blows.
And it's hard to say with vision there whether they were able to check Elise for items there, but you're correct. If you're Jarvan and you see the enemy Elise has a Doran Blade, you instantly just disengage, because that's 80 health and 10 AD. That's so many combat stats compared to just the machete, which offers you nothing in a duel.
I'm not entirely too sure if Loveland actually prematurely showed herself there, but they're going to go for the kill on top of Laopi here. And Loveland just not able to get that cocoon. The Death Send is not actually going to be able to hit either. And there's that Flag and Drag, not quite hitting the mark from Loveland, but the flash forward with the Flay. They're going to go for the kill on top of the Spider, but there's been so much delay being provided by Sika as well as Nemai. But here comes Super Cat. Zed nowhere to be found. That's up the repel, and it's very likely going to be the first blood Loveland. He does drop. And he just kind of, the cornered Spider at that point had nowhere to go. Throw up the repel, just bought enough time for Name and Sika to get out of town. But, you know, cool. He does not look interested at all in kind of any rotations.
At this point, enter Supercat here, because Supercat now has a massive advantage. He was able to push the lane and roam there, picked up a kill and blue buff here on that mid Diana.
That is
so
true.
Now it's kind of on him to deal with cool and also snowball that advantage, because whenever you get ahead in the early game, it's kind of on you to say, hey, look, I've got this extra gold, I've got this advantage, I'm going to carry.
And Supercat with the blue, I mean, Cool's going to have to try to devise some kind of plan to deal with that, but that also means that both blue buffs are now in the pocket of EPHK, so yeah, really nice pickup from them, and the first blood gold, Diana is going to head on home, and at this point, I mean, it's only about 300 between the two teams, but immediately she picks that up.
Yeah, we're still early days, and that's the thing. While the gold advantage is not there, she kind of has to trade on having that blue buff, play a bit more aggressively in lane, make sure Cool is required to stay in mid lane and just wave clear. Don't give him any chance to roam, just because now she's basically a resourceless champion to go along with Cool, who's a resource champion himself on that Zed.
So really early 5-minute item, but Supercat probably just going to give it right back, as he's not even going to get the chance to flash over that wall. Loveland setting up that gank with going, and they are able to equalize out the kills, get that blue buff back.
That play calling from Loveland was beautiful there. They must have known the tendency of Supercat when it comes to how he re-enters lane when he wants to ward. You see he had a ward in his infantry there.
Yep.
He wanted to put it in, he casually stole up to Wraith and just died.
Well, as you said, these teams have combated quite a few times in the past, and the advantage is going to go to OMG since they seem to have figured out the winning combination up against Energy Pacemaker. But 1-1, and the gold now going to go back into OMG's favor. And again, that blue buff is just kind of the wandering blue buff at this point.
Absolutely. It's one of those blue buffs that just lasts forever. We could have 3 blue buffs on the map, because of course that 3-minute duration, and we're already 6-minute 45. Blue buff's about to respawn.
Sounds a little terrifying, to be honest.
Absolutely.
But, you know, with her early power bracelet there, she is stacking not only the ability power, but as well armor. And that's going to do her real good up against Cool, who is a physical damage assassin.
Absolutely. Compared to a lot of champions, Diana can actually build a Zhonya's without really losing any of the stats she craves. One of the standard Diana builds when she was in popularity, Zhonya and Abyssal, just to have a bit more cost-effective magic resist and armor to go along with that burst of AP. And one of the reasons why Diana is one of the best champions to do that on is because she double scales on resists, as we see Cole looking for a steal there. And what I mean by that is that every point of ability power gives her more shield, and shield basically acts as the same as if you buy health.
Yes.
But because it's basically additional health that's affected by resists, your shield gets stronger from AP, but your shield also gets stronger from the armor and MR you're picking up. So it just makes it so deceptively tanky, despite not buying actual health items.
Almost sounds like you're double dipping, but
double dipping.
Going, he's going to find Boo Ping. They do got this jungle warded out extremely well, and they are going to be looking for that red buff steal. Jarvan knew that that red buff was about to come back up, but he could not deal with that 2-on-1, and it does look like the steal will be in effect. And overall, the theme of a lot of the Asian teams here at WCG 2013 is a very excellent buff and objective control.
And that's just their MO, I think, for core. That's what they brought to the competitor scene. Although we see Kane stunned here, no passage is available, so he'll be fine.
Ooh, that escape actually defeated the True Shot Barrage. It was a nice setup, but Lanterns, man, we've seen some extremely great Lantern saves this entire tournament as well. And there we go. Cool's now going to pick up that blue. And basically the world is all right again.
And going back to your point about the playstyle of the Asian teams, you only have to look back at All-Stars, where it was so clear that both Korea and China were ahead of the curve when it came to the vision game, the meta, the strong picks. That was probably the crescendo. No Sona in this game, so no,
yeah, she was
no
actually
pun
banned.
intended. But that was the crescendo of where both Korea and China were significantly ahead of the rest of the world. But the rest of the world have looked to the play of the OGN teams, the LPL teams. Ward coverage is much more common right now, but it's this sheer aggression. Loveland, he just has reckless abandon when it comes to entering the enemy jungle. And it's that lack of respect and that aggressive play that really typifies OMG.
So we actually have some more light bright signs in front of us. The Chinese crowd is coming out in full force today. So really good to see a lot of support for the hometown teams. Of course, they do have 2 seeds in this tournament, and both are in the quarterfinals. As you said, World Elite a little bit earlier, OMG now. So we might actually run into a all Chinese finals.
And I believe, I mean, I've only been on the low plus stage twice, but it's a full house here in terms of spectators.
The fullest house we've had.
OMG are bringing in all the fans here. They want to see their team on the main stage. Not yet, but if they get through this game, the semifinals are going to be pretty explosive. See, huge amount of damage coming on Koi. My 4 here, the flash comes out.
Wow.
Counter flash from Cole.
Right off to the edge. Going actually able to clean up the kill on top of Super Cat. We had a True Shot Barrage go out as well, but it's not going to be enough. It doesn't matter though. Double kill goes the way of Going, and the crowd goes wild. Shyvana going for that early Sunfire. That's going to be a lot of cash in her pocket, as well as that, very possibly that mid tower.
Cool was so low there for Court. He was able to flash over the Wraiths. The counter flash coming out from Supercat wasn't in time right there. And if you're an Energy Pacemaker fan, you're going to feel hard done by, just because that was a great engage by them there. And just by the finest of margins, they lost 2 kills. They've lost a turret. They're going to lose Dragon here. And suddenly that snowball that OMG is so well known for, starting to come out.
And wow, Kane actually throwing out a really, really early calling, but hey, mission accomplished.
Zones them off Dragon.
Exactly right. The zoning control does come out huge there. Zed is now going to be just exchanging a few shots there with Boo Ping, but really nothing coming of it. I suppose that they want to go for this Dragon. EPHK is just hanging around. He got both Diana as well as Shen there in the mid lane, but doesn't really look like they're going to actually amass in order to take it. And I kind of agree with that statement.
So we see Name pushing down bottom here. He has a 10 CS advantage over Lucian, which, based on paper, that is a big thing, just because you wouldn't expect that. Oh, but Sika's in a lot of trouble here. 2 members going on to her.
Yeah, over the wall with the box. Got out that Tibbers, but yeah, little girl is now unfortunately down. Kane actually going to take home that kill. He's sitting at 1-0-1, has that Phage, so we're very likely to see a Trinity Force soon. But over the wall for that kill, I mean, Annie had to use Flash and Ignite, and she still went down even with the help of Tibbers.
Yeah, Yeah, they're just trying to wrestle some of the momentum away. They were actually able to give the kill to exactly who they wanted. They wanted to give that kill to Kane, the AD carry there. They gave it to him, so successful. As we go going, he's picked up the blue buff here. He goes back up top lane to do some AoE wave clear. Maybe that was just to deny the blue buff from Booping, I'm not sure, but Booping is in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, he definitely is. Cool is going to be able to finish him off. And again, there's that escapability coming out from Zed. He's just able to get off the kill and go back to safety. Domhawk's in the back, but I mean, there's no one to stand united to. It's not even up anyways, and he's not going to be able to catch Cool at this point. So a very easy kill going for Wave OMG, and they're almost up to 3,000 gold difference.
And now Supercat has to play so much more defensively in lane. Of course, it was the mid turret, which we call the OMG turret, that was the first one to fall. Just because once that mid turret goes down, you get those aggressive wards, you have that jungler who has the aggressive mindset, and suddenly the buffs, they're not EPHK's buffs, they're OMG's buffs.
Speaking of that, check this out. Loveland going for the blue. Here comes Sika as well. I can't imagine they'll give it to Annie, but you also see Zed there in the back. He's going to pick it up with a shuriken. And as you said, you know, excellent buff and excellent objective control. With that mid turret down, that's quite a bit of, you know, map vision as well as presence that that EPHK has now lost. And that mindset going in is now they have to put down all these wards if they want to kind of counter it out. Otherwise, they do lose out those buffs, just like what we saw.
Cool is able to play so aggressively here. They've been so on top of Booping here. We look at the levels. Even though there's an equal level between Loveland and Booping here, no respect is being paid to Jarvan whatsoever. Cool's farming the enemy raids. He's staying ahead of the river in the middle of the jungle. He doesn't give any cares.
Speaking of the level differences, it is Cool at level 11, and nobody even close to the double digits here from EPHK. In fact, level 6 on that Thresh, but look at going up top, just really doing the damage up against that Sharpton. But Booping in the jungle, that's going to be the Stand United, gets denied. The Flagon Drake not going to be coming out of that. And the OMG chant is going strong because Supercat is looking to go down. Here comes that death mark and the explosion. Cool sunglasses and walks away to that one.
OMG, they're starting to snowball this out of abandon. That was a beautiful engage right there as the crowd goes wild for OMG. At least on point, and it's that buff control. It gets them so much. It gets them kills, it gets them objectives. Pick up another kill, pick up another objective. And suddenly this gold lead, once this turret goes down, is going to be about 6,000 gold at only the 14-minute mark here.
6,000 gold, like it felt just like, what, less than a minute ago that it was a 3,000 gold difference. Now it's up to that 6, almost that 7. Bottom lane comparatively seems actually kind of quiet. It's a 0-0-0 on Name, but everywhere else the pressure is starting to get to EPHK.
But deceptively, that's actually a win here for the OMG bot lane, just because you've got Ezreal against a lane bully like Lucian. Lucian lanes like pre-nerf Draven, and anyone who's been around the league scene remembers just how strong Draven was in lane. You pick Ezreal to be safe. You pick Ezreal to be safe, to farm at 1,000 units, and then in team fights to have that extra escape, to just be that annoying poking carry right there. And he's at the moment 19 CS up, and he hasn't died. So he's doing very respectable here as Name. He's primed to carry in the late game because with all that global gold and the fact that he's been able to CS so well, he's still going to be a force as Laopi goes wide.
Well, Name doesn't get hit by the death sentence. Tibbers actually comes out and it just pings there Laopi, but that's going to be the Cataclysm after the culling. Sika is going to drop. The flash comes out from Name and will keep him alive. You saw the Jarvan coming down, but here comes going. Could be a possible dive, but 3-on-1. It's no longer a 3-on-1. Look at that map convergence. He's going to go in. The Dragon's Descent on top of Kane. Cool going unstoppable with Kane dropping to the True Shot Barrage. That is going to be the double for Cool as they just absolutely obliterate that bottom lane.
OMG has no cares for turrets there, forecourt, as tanking the turret was going. He knew his team was coming into vision. They came in, cleaned up 3 kills, and there's nowhere safe on the map here for EPHK.
It just sounds so sinister when you say it like that, but there's absolutely nowhere safe. 3 turrets to 0, 10-3 for the kills. They're not even done with this pain train down bottom, and you know, tanking out that tower with going at 15-minute mark. He has the Doran shield, he has the Tabby, and on top of that the Sunfire. It's like turrets do not exist, and that is going to be accentuated by another destruction going down.
And that's the 4th turret coming up here. Cool is trying to kill Shenny. It's very tanky. He has the Sunfire, but it's a long lane.
It is a long lane, and there is no tower. Cool is looking in phenomenal form. The lifesteal for him is going to come out in huge droves, as well as the armor penetration. And Doomhawks is just slowly going down. Actually could have been it, but the flash is there, and Cool goes godlike as the rest of his team picks up the dragon.
And that was the battle of the true assassins there, the true ninjas, and the winning ninja this time, it was Zed.
Zed, yeah, I mean, yesterday and the day before, we've had some really rocky Zed games, but who are we kidding? Zed here from OMG, one of the only teams to take a win with Zed on the Plus stream, and today, 7-0-2. I think Scar yesterday coined the phrase carry lord, and I gotta say, Team China is kind of riding the back of Cool right now.
And Cool is a great man with very wide shoulders. It's not the first time he's carried OMG to victory. He's got the Blade of the Ruin King, he's got the Brutalizer, he's looking super strong here. No doubt going to complement that with a Last Whisper. And then what's a boy to do against a very fed Zed?
What is a boy to do up against ninjas? Seriously. True Shot Barrage is going to go through. Only does ping down on Kane, but not entirely too sure we're going to see any kind of chase going through. And really, I mean, OMG, they just need a better footsie position. And once that creep wave comes through, once Cool comes out of that base with, by the way, a Yomu's Ghostblade and mobile boots, plus a red pot, it's just like the destruction is about to rain down on Energy Pacemaker.
And Yomu's Ghostblade is definitely a quintessentially Chinese item. We almost never see that outside of China. But if you look at the stats it provides, 20 flat armor penetration is very hard to itemize for in the early game here, as he considers his options against Domox. If you're looking to finish a game early, against low armor values, it's so strong.
Well, Ninja versus Ninja battle will resume. Domhawks is just going to try to get away with the Stand United, but he doesn't blow up. Very close to the end there, but Cool. You know, this Jaws of Life will not snap shut on Domhawks today, but that means they also have a Stand United now out of the picture.
And with that extra cloth armor, while that Yomu's Ghostblade against Domox is not becoming the most viable or perhaps the best choice, he is going to absolutely explode Lucian in 0 seconds.
Well, it's going to be a 2-tower trade for one. Sure, EPHK got that mid tower, but they're now going to have an exposed inhibitor, plus Cool is still split pushing in that top lane. Supercat and Kane don't seem to actually give a damn. They're still in the mid lane there as this inhibitor is starting to get chunked out.
Now, they don't have a lot of damage onto it right here. They have to back away. Only a melee champion. We do see Ezreal's coming as well. They're going to get this inhibitor eventually. Dragon's Descent goes in.
Wow, that was just deletion on top of Thresh. He threw out the box. He knew he was in a pickle when he got hit by that cocoon. Sika goes in with the Annie on top of things. And there goes Jarvan. Name is still laying out tons of damage. That's going to be it for Supercat. And that was a 3-for-0 exchange as they are going to go right into the base. And there's the crowd we got in front of us, ladies and gentlemen.
And the scary thing there for Court, so that was 4v5 action as Cool was pushing in the top lane. We can see the OMG fans on camera. They're super pumped because they know their team, 20 minutes, maybe even before 20 minutes, this is their game. Well,
another tower going down in terms of Ezreal, but I mean, EPHK has really nowhere to go. The Lantern gank to nothing coming in from Kane. I guess he got a free ride out of the Dark Passage there, but Cool's about to punish him. Laobai goes down. Cool goes legendary at 8-0-2, and that escapability is really playing havoc with this Hong Kong team.
Now they're backing away here. They're going to pick up some more items. I mean, EPHK, it's a bit of a double-edged sword here. Either they can surrender at 20 minutes and prepare for another game, or they can play it out and maybe use the time to discuss some strategy, because this is not their game. They will lose their first game here. They will lose a foothold in this series. But what's to do? What's the correct decision? It's hard to say.
The painful part is we still can't even surrender.
Nope.
It's before 20 minutes. 14, yeah, quick count of about 14,000 gold difference between these two teams. OMG, flawless buff control. I don't think they've given up a single dragon. Baron literally just spawned about 5 minutes ago, but it is just such an overwhelming gold lead coming through for OMG. I mean, Cool is level, I want to say 15 at this point, and still nobody can even catch him in terms of experience as well as those items. Supercat, however, he's going to give it a go. He has the rest of his team there. Supercat is going to throw down the Zonias at the last moment, and a little bit of an unfortunate death from Cool, but hey, he's 8-1. I don't think he's going to lose anything off his shoulder.
You reap what he's so for, Cool, and Cool has shown no cares whatsoever for the enemy team there. He walked aggressively. He wanted to pad out his stats. He gives up the legendary kill spree here, but I'm going to say this, I don't think it's going to make much of a difference to the outcome of this game.
He has another brutalizer on top of that. It's just like pure armor penetration. I mean, he has the Blade of the Ruin King for the attack speed, for that buff and the lifesteal, and then after that is just, let's just do true damage. I mean, why not? It's a tried and true winning formula at this point. Here goes the culling. Fortunately, I don't think it's really going to call too much, but that's going to be the return cocoon. Boo Ping could be in trouble. Annie going down as well as the True Shot Barrage, and there's Shyvana with the Dragon's Descent in the back. Going with the double. Ezreal picks up the Thresh, and this is going to be a veritable ace, the first one of the game. but at 21 minutes, the triple going the way of going, and that is very likely the end of the game.
Well, I'm sorry to hear the Shyvana win streak had been halted, but it's back on right here as we the fans scream for their team. Surrender comes down. OMG take the first game.
GG indeed. Our